then I think we have to just get right into this because there's a lot to cover. I'm not sure how much we'll be able to cover in 1 hour. Okay, let's get right into this. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see your calendar. Yeah, let's do this one. Let's do entire screen. Let's share this one, and then let's move this to this side. Move that over there. Hopefully you guys can you guys see everything okay? Yeah, okay, great. So we're in OpenClaw. Let me zoom in here. Let's see here. Zoom. Okay, this is the OpenClaw website, openclaw.ai. I mean, only thing we're going to do here is look for the GitHub link, which is somewhere down here. But if you want to learn more about it in general, this is where you'd go. It's called openclaw.ai. It was basically acquired by OpenAI by hiring, what's his name? Peter. Here. So right here they have Discord, documentation, GitHub, and ClawHub. ClawHub is where they have their skills, where you could upload and download skills. They have added.
Sorry, Max, are you gonna record this meeting?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, great.
Hopefully it's working, but we are recording. I think. Let me double check. Yeah, screen recording. ClawHub's where you would download like skills that other people have uploaded. Before it was a big security issue. They've added security to it, but it's still one of those things you have to be very careful about if you're going to grab skills. And now skills aren't, I mean, you could manually grab one and then have AI analyze it to make sure it's secure, for example. It's one thing you could do. But anyways, let's go ahead. We're going to go into GitHub. That's where we're going to get the repo address. Now, I'm going to lean on AI to help us get through this quicker, right? So I'm going to use Cursor, and I'm going to use, what do you call it, Claude Code, right? And a little bit about this stack is that it allows me to like use some of the extensions and features of Cursor, and then actually use the coding power of Claude Code. So that's one, or you could go straight into Claude Code if you know how to do it. So we're going to create space for the project. Now the environment I'm in is called, it's a PC, but I'm running something called WSL2, which is like a virtual machine where I'm running Ubuntu, a Linux distro. So what we're doing is going to be how I'd suggest you install it if you're going to be running it on a PC. Also, if you're running it through Linux, it'd be very similar. And as far as I know, I don't have a Mac, but I've been told that if you run the terminal on Mac, their system's actually very, very, very similar to Linux. So the instructions are actually be very similar to install. One nuance that we're not going to be dealing with, which is more secure, is installing it into a container, like a Docker. It's much more involved. It's not a simple thing, because you have to decide how it's going to deal with, because the container is like basically another virtual environment where you're putting it into that environment. So how does it get out of that environment, interact with the space outside of it is a whole nother level. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and create a new project. So if you're in Windows, there's two ways to do this. You could go through your terminal, right, if you know how to do it. And that would just be WSL, right? And then once you're WSL, you exit so you can see that. So you're in your terminal, like Power Windows or whatever, and you just type WSL to go into WSL, and now you're actually in your virtual machine server, right? I'm going to change directory to my home, which is CD squiggly line. And I have all my projects in a folder called projects. So I'm going to go ahead and make a directory, mkdir. We'll call it, what's it called? OpenClaw? OpenClaw. Right? And now I could CD OpenClaw, and I'm in my OpenClaw directory, right? Now, if you're using Windows, the way you'd have to do this here, I'm going to go into Claude Code real quick to get help here. It's a special path because it's a virtual machine and it maps onto Windows in a weird, funky way. So I'm going to ask for Claude Code to give us the path here. Can you give me the full Windows path to this WSL2 directory? That's what I'm going to ask it. Like, can you give me the full Windows path to this WSL2 directory? I hope I worded that correct. So once you do this once, you could just bookmark it, like pin the the virtual machine and access it easily through Windows. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to copy this. I'm actually just going to go to projects instead of that directory. Also, when you're inside of WSL, it acts like it is Linux, like it's a Linux machine basically. So I'm not going to Control C, I'm going to right click. I'm going to select, then right click. That's like copying. Then I'm going to go into my regular Windows, right? I have Windows, right? And then the address up here, I'm going to paste what it was given me, right? Hit enter, and now I have my, in Windows, I have a mapping to my virtual machine. And then from here, you can just pin this like from your desktop, okay? So now right now I'm actually in my virtual machine here. And then I have a projects folder, right? Here's my projects folder in my virtual machine. And then these are all the projects I have, right? And I made that new directory. It's much easier for me to do in Linux than it is to do in Windows. But as you saw before, I made a new folder, OpenClaw. Okay, so we have a blank folder here on our virtual machine. So once you do that, we could go ahead and extract the project. We could pull it, just have the coding, we call it our whatever code you're using, WinSurf, whatever you want to use. So I'm going to open folder from here. Oh, that's another thing. You have to have a WSL2 installed, right? There's an extension. So if you go here to the top left, and then up here, view, we want the extensions. Here we go, extensions. And you want something called WSL, right? Once you've installed WSL, you'll have the option to press Control-Shift-P or type WSL Connect on the top up here, and then click Connect to WSL if you haven't done this before, right? I think on Macintosh you don't have to do any of this. This is just like if you're doing Windows WSL. Okay, so anyways, we're going to open the folder. Now it's going into my WSL drive, right? This is my homepage of my WSL to my Ubuntu drive. I'm going to go to projects, like we said, OpenClaw, and we're going to open that folder. Okay. And then, let's see, move this to the side here. Now I'm going to clear some of this stuff, just make this simpler. Okay, so I'm going to keep this pretty simple. On the left-hand side, I'm going to keep where I can see my files. There's no files yet, right? And then here, I'm going to open my terminal. If you don't have your terminal open, you go to Terminal, New Terminal. You have something that looks like this, right? And then you just, hopefully you guys have installed Claude or whatever you're going to use, Gemini. If not, you would do it over here. Like if you're using a WindSurf or Cursor agent, then you just open the chat here and you do it here, right? That's where you do it there. But I'm going to use Claude Code. Okay, so we have Claude Code. I'll zoom this in, you guys, so you can see it. Okay, so I'm going to say please pull this repo into this project folder. And I'm going to grab that. We have the GitHub repo over here. I'm just going to grab this. There's actually technically the address is over here. But Claude Code's very smart, so I don't have to, I just say this. And it's going to pull the entire code base. It's a big code base. It's a really big code base, I think. Yeah, it's a lot of files. So it might take a minute to pull that. You see, it's grab everything. It's compressing. Now it's downloading everything. Hopefully you guys have faster internet than me. And what this is literally doing right now is it's pulling the entire code base into your folder that we made for you. Pulling, 27%. I guess right now would be a good time to talk about security. We won't have enough time to go through all the things you'd want to do for security, and it would also depend on your environment. I can't speak for folks how they're setting this up, right? If you're setting this like on a dedicated like M4, like what do you call it, a mini Mac or whatever, then you sort of, I think we'll talk about this while we're installing it, but you have to be conscious of how somebody could access you and how your agent is going out there, right? Because the reality with an agent is there's always a vulnerability of like prompt injection, for example. And it's just a reality of agents. It's not something you could completely mitigate because an agent generally can't tell the difference between an instruction coming from you or coming from a hostile party. Okay, so we got 200 megabytes cloned. Okay, so we have it here locally now, right? You can see on the left-hand side we have all the files, all the folders. Now we're going to install it. Now, I've never installed this myself, but I think there's a way to do it easily if we just go look into README file. So if you go to a repo that has a code base, they'll usually have a README. If you scroll all the way to the bottom here, and you see instructions right here, right? Install. Okay, here's the instructions for install. You have to make sure you have Node, right? If you don't have Node, it's really easy to install. Like ask your AI just to install it. Say, please install Node. It might need sudo access, in which case you'd give it a password. Yeah, so let's just go ahead and install this. Please install this project. You could, by the way, like I didn't have to do that. Since the README is here in the code base, if you have said, please just install this, it'll found the README and start installing it. So now it's installing.
I'm a little curious about your virtual computer that you have. Mm-hmm. Is it free or is it something that you have to pay for, or how did you get it?
It's just installed. I have a PC, and you can install WSL just on Windows. I have a guide in the community if you want to install it, but it's part of Windows.
It's part of
Windows. It's a way to host a virtual machine on your computer for Linux distros. The default one is Ubuntu.
Is it only for Linux, or is it also for Windows, or anyone with a Google account can open one? A Windows account? I don't know what it is.
Okay, so this right now, what you're looking at is my PC, my laptop, right?
Yeah.
So my laptop is a Windows laptop.
Yeah.
Right. So as part of Windows, WSL2 is part of Windows. Okay, right, so you just have to, if it's not active, you have to activate it or download it, whatever, and I do have instructions for that too if you need it. But once you've set that up, you now will have a virtual machine on your Windows PC that runs a Linux distro, like Ubuntu or whatever you choose. You could choose different ones.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, that's how I do all my development. I don't develop in Windows, I develop in Linux. So everything I do is through this, basically. Okay, we're downloading. We're installing. 2 minutes down. Let's go ahead and scope ahead quickly to see what's the next step. The quick start. See, they have tons of documentation. It's actually very impressive documentation. They have a whole, it's called Mintify, I think it's called. And it has a whole huge website with all the documentation. It's really good. It's really well sorted and easy to work with, you see. This is their documentation. Okay, so we are installing it right now. OpenClaw onboard. So the first step we're going to do is, let's see. We'll check where the progress is. Okay, onboarding. There you go. OpenClaw. It's going to fail to run the onboard because it's kind of like an interactive menu. Okay, so we're going to do the next step now is OpenClaw onboard, install daemon, right? Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. If you're here, you could just open another window by clicking over here, split terminal. Or you could open an individual terminal to do it. I'm going to do it over here so you can see it better. All right, so I'm inside my project, and I'm going to run the command by pasting it, OpenClaw onboard, install daemon. Hit that. Okay, security warning. The first thing it does, and it's always done this, is warn you about security. Okay? And it asks you, I understand this is powerful and inherently risky. Continue. You understand you're taking a risk? Yes. We're going to do quick start. Configure details later via OpenClaw configure. Yeah, we'll do a quick start. Okay. Now this is where you have a choice to install a bunch of things at once. We are going to just do Anthropic for now, but you could theoretically do a couple, right? There's 3 subscriptions that you could do, which means you would use your subscription as opposed to paying for API credits. Another option is if you had local models, you could do that as well. We're going to go ahead and do Anthropic, and then we're going to use a token. All right. That way we use our subscription. Okay, so now it's telling us to run Claude setup token in your terminal. I'm going to do that right here. Another window. Off screen, so it's a secure. Now when you run that command, Claude setup dash token, it's going to open a browser for you to authenticate your Claude login, right? Your Anthropic login. So I'm going to show you just real quick how that looks like. It's going to look like this, right? So you want to log in. Now when this is done, you should be getting a token. Come on, big money, load faster. Okay, I'm clicking authorize now. So now I got a token, right? And it'll start with SK-ANT. Okay, and then you're going to paste that right here. It's asked for a name. You want to hit, just keep default, right? The default model is Opus 4.6. We're going to hit that. And then the channel is how you're going to talk to your bot. You have a lot of choices here, right? I suggest Telegram. Okay, so we're going to go that path. We're going to go Telegram. Okay, so if you don't know how to do this, we'll do this real quick together. I'm going to open my Telegram. Here's my Telegram. You're going to search for the botfather. And botfather can be found. He is at the botfather, right? So once you find him, you're going to say, hey, what's up, botfather? No, he's not AI like that. You type / new bot. All right, a new bot. How are we going to call it? Please choose a name for your bot. And again, this is going to be your interaction with your OpenClaw. So if you want to give it a name, like we'll call him Clawy. Good. Now let's choose a username for your bot. It must end in bot. Like this, for example, TetrisBot or TetrisBot. So we're going to say ClawdBot. Now this is very common because everybody's making a bot. So sorry, this username is already taken. Please try something different. You have to get creative. So I'm going to say Clawy the bot. Oh, boom, got one. All right. So, and don't share this. This is with this API token, somebody can control your bot, which means they can control your agent. So you're seeing this with me right now. I will have to delete this and remove the connection because you've seen this. But yeah, we're going to grab this, right? We're going to copy that. And I'm going to go ahead and bring it over here into our installation right here. And I'm going to paste that right here and hit enter. Okay. So there are a bunch of skills we could choose, right? You're eligible for 18, missing requirements for 24, unsupported on this OS 7, right? Missing requirements means you might have to install separate packages and dependencies and requirements. All right, so we'll do a little bit now. Maybe we'll do a couple now just to get the experience. So we'll configure skills now. We'll say yes. Yeah, this is where your option to install more dependencies, right? I'm going to do one just to. So I'm going to scroll down to this one, Gemini, and hit that one. Okay. And then once you've picked your skills, you just hit. I think you just hit enter. Let me see. Yeah, space to select it, and then enter to accept your selection, right? So depending on which ones you selected to install, it'll start doing the installation now.
Max?
Yep.
Hello, this is Sana. I got my mic to work finally. A question here for those skills, because when we speak about the safe security stuff, we have someone that can access to our Telegram, but let's say it's more protected with our API and we can make it only talk to us. But with those skills, we don't know the content of those skills. Are we sure they are 100% safe? Those skills they came with by default?
Yeah, so the skills that come with, I'm not taking any skills that are not already part of the
Okay. So those are sure.
Yeah, those are sure. Those are safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's mainly the others that we don't know what people was doing in their program, and they can maybe through them make some prompt injections.
Correct. And other issues, yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
Claude Hub, I don't suggest using it at all, or maybe use it just to peruse, right? Just to peruse what's out there, and then check it individually before you install anything, right?
Yeah.
And it's so easy to make your own skills too, by the way. It's like it really is easy to make. There's even like a skill creator skill. So yeah.
Yeah, if you can talk about this stuff, yes, I'm interested. Thank you.
Yeah. So time-wise, we're not gonna have time to go through all of this, right? But you do, like, if you want to set up, like, to really make this an agent that's going to be doing everything. And, I'm assuming most people are on the Google ecosystem as far as like Google Calendar, Google Workspace for your email. You would have to set all this up, and you'd basically have to go into your cloud account, right? Just really quickly go to cloud.google.com, and then you'd have to go into your whatever account you have that you could be using for this, whether it's going to access your account or have its own account. If it's going to access your account, you have to make sure you go into your Google Cloud Workspace account, and then you'd have to set up the client, right? So you'd have to go to OAuth, I guess. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. I haven't done this. I've done this recently, but I don't remember every detail. OAuth consent screen, and then from here you'd have to create the connection, a new client. All right. So you'll see this on the left-hand side. Here, zoom in. You have these options here. You'd have to go through each one of these things. Like you have to go through your clients, add a new client. It's a separate process, and it's not very hard, but doing it the first time might be a little bit tricky. And if you don't know how to do it, we could maybe talk about how to do it. But yeah, you'd want to do that and then get the API key from there, and then you would paste it over here. And you could do this at later, by the way. If you can't do it now, you could always reconfigure later. So we're going to do no for now. This is where you could set like a Nano Banana Pro for the skill. So I'm going to say no for now. You could connect Notion. These are the skills that come with it, right? So you'd add the Notion API key. You could do image gen from OpenAI. That's image gen 1.5 now. And Whisper. Whisper is transcription. I said no. Lemon Labs for SAG. SAG is the same thing. It's going to be a transcription and text to speech. No. Okay, so hooks let you automate actions when agent commands are issued. Save session context member. Yeah. So you do want to enable these hooks. Command log is very important. Session memory. These are those are important ones. So once you use spacebar to select the ones you want, and then press enter to continue. Okay.
Question about the OpenAI API key. If we have our subscription, we can normally use all those automatically. We don't have specific API for each Whisper for each thing.
No, for the things we just covered right now, you would need an API key. For the agent itself, you could use a subscription for the actual agent, but if you want to use image generation, that requires API key.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So you have two choices here: how to hatch your bot the first time you're hatching it, your first interactions with it. You could do it in the TUI, which is the command line, or you could do it inside the web UI, right? They recommend you do the TUI, and TUI is kind of like this interface we have right here. So we'll do that. We'll do what they recommend. I see it says it's starting the session. It's like, wake up, my friend. Hey, I just came online. So here's the deal. I'm brand new, no memories, no name, no idea who you are yet. Just a fresh workspace and a whole lot of potential. So who are you? And more importantly, who do you want me to be? So it's going to ask you 3 questions here. Yeah, who should I call you? So I'm going to say, hey, how is it going today? My name is Max. You can call me Max. Our vibe is super casual, dude. Let's see. And let's make this fun. Okay, so hit enter. And hey, Max, nice to meet you. Is he giving me a thumbs up? Or the old super casual works perfectly for me. Already feels right. So what about me? Got a name in mind or want me to throw some out? I think something that matches a vibe like Apex. No, I don't like that. We said Clawy, right? Your name is going to be Clawy. That's it, right? While you're thinking, what's your time zone? I'm guessing GMT +2 from the timestamps. But where in the world are you? I live in Israel. Okay. Your name's going to be Clay. I live in Israel. Clay, love it. It's got personality. All right, let me get this all written down so I don't forget who I am next time I wake. Now, what's actually going on here? What this does is it's going to be creating its own workspace. Let's see here if I can find it. Change directory. Alex. And where did it change? Or maybe it's still creating it. Let me see. Okay, first goes a couple things we do from here. Connect me to your phone. Talk about what you need from me. Projects. Just hang, no rush. That's it. We're going to do /exit. Okay, so I want to see if I can find where it put its files. Let me ask. Okay, we did. So I'm going back into Cursor. It's done the installation, this initial hatching. What it usually does, or what it's supposed to do, is create its own workspace, right? Where it puts its own soul.md file and this other jazz. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look for that. Okay, we finished onboarding. Where is the workspace and state space for our OpenClaw bot? So I'm gonna ask this guy to help us find it. I thought it would be in that where is it putting it? There's one place, OpenClaw. And then where else? I thought OpenClaw, and what else? Oh, it's all in there? Oh, it is all in there. Okay. So put it in an invisible, well, not invisible, but a folder that you won't see unless you look. So you have to do dir /dot asterisk to see that, these folders, right? And it's here and under OpenClaw. So I'm going to change directory .openclaw. Now I'm in that directory. I press LS, or let me zoom this in so you guys can see this. Now again, I'm doing this here. You can also do this in Windows, right? I go back over to our home, and we're going to look for .openclaw. There it is right there. And see, we have, this is going to be our, this is our state space, it's called. And then in here is the workspace, right? You guys see this? I have to view this more extra large icons. There you go. See, so now you see, this is where what it did, that whole process we did. That's just a fancy way of building this workspace here, right? And agents is where the primary agent would be, and then sub-agent details would go into here if you make specific sub-agents. Canvas is if you do connect it. I think that's Macintosh only, where it would be able to create like a little HTML space for you to do custom stuff. Cron is one of the things that make it, sort of unique in the agent space. And crons are scheduled jobs. That's what those are, right? Cron are here. So cron are scheduled jobs. Devices are all the devices that are connected. If you're connecting more than just this device, like if you want to connect it to your phone. Identity, I don't remember what that is. Logs is just logs, what's going on. And workspace is the basically where it saved those files. Like it's, for example, the heartbeat. And identity and soul, like soul, that stuff I told about being ultimate, basically casual and stuff like that. And these are the things you would edit if you wanted to have more character. You'd edit user if you wanted to know more about you. It's aware of its tools, but if you have like custom ways you want it to use your tools, like when you're using OpenAI image generation, make sure to not include a person image. If you want that kind of specific detail, you would add it to these tools marked down here. And heartbeat is also another thing that runs about every 30 to 60 minutes, I believe. I forget. That's kind of keeping everything like in sync. Because this is just like if you're using a chat, it could run out of context and stuff like that. So it's trying to keep a continuation of conversation and stuff like that. That's also where memory is. Every day gets its own memory file by date. And then if you set it up, there's also a way to set up LanceDB, which is a semantic lookup, which is like RAG system. See, how's our time going? Yeah, so let's go ahead and see. Here's the SolMD file. You're not a chatbot.
Here, Max.
What's that?
I see that you have started with copying OpenClaw into your /project/OpenClaw. To be able to install it, you couldn't run directly command line from the GitHub file directory?
You can, but the reason I do it this way is so I could get guidance right here, or if I want to make modifications. See what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But you could definitely, yeah. There's also it also should launch a GUI too. Let me see. Is the GUI online? And if so, what's the address? Now, so at this stage, there is no connection to the outside world. Let me think. It might have it could go out like I think it could do web searches by default. I could be wrong about that. We could test that. But right now, the only connection to the outside world to your bot will be through Telegram, and it's not through a direct message. It's like it's like pinging the bot. So it's not really like giving access to Telegram directly. It's going out. Your bot is doing a loop, and it's checking if there's any new messages on Telegram. It's a very secure way to do things. Yeah. So here's our GUI. Oh, you need the token. So if you don't open out the token, it won't work. I will need the address with the token, please. With the auth token. That's another security thing. It's people say how insecure it is. It's not insecure. It's really not that insecure. A lot of the problems you're running into is the fact that people set it up without being careful, just being reckless and doing stupid things. Yeah, I mean, like if I put this on a VPS server, you have to harden the server first. You have to set it up correctly because a VPS server is accessible from the outside world. You want to change the port. You want to make sure you have firewall. You have what's called fail to ban. You want to set it up. You may even set it up in a container. And there's a lot of things you could do to harden it and just make it more secure. By default, it's a pretty secure platform. Now, okay, so now that I've authorized it with this, you can see this is my new Claw dashboard, right? This is my bot. You can see here's the chat. You can chat directly with it here if you want to chat with your bot. See, I'm officially Claw. And you can continue the conversation here. Here's all your controls here on the left. It also has a dark mode, maybe be better so you can see that better. Yeah, probably easier to see, right? You can see the control overview right here. Has my token. By the way, I'm letting you see this because I'm just going to destroy this after. But this is how they can access. One way they can access your. Well, actually, this is on my local computer, so you still can access it. But if this was on the web, this is one way they could access your interface, right? If they had this token, and this was on the web, then they would be able to access it this way. So do not share this. Do not ever go into this and share with other people the screen. You can see it has all the details. It's connected, uptime 9 minutes, instances, sessions, cron enabled. So one of the big things that you could do with this is cron jobs. And that means like I could set it, for example, actually I have a bot set up over here. This one, here you go. So you can see it's doing stuff on its own. I'm not even talking to it. It's doing stuff, right? So every night, here, let me ask it. What are your cron jobs? Every night it does a self-improvement thing, right? It looks at its own setup and says, hey, how can I improve myself? Every night it does it on its own. It's something I set up to do. And let's see here. Yeah, 5 in the morning. It looks like I have it run. So every time in the morning, it tells me everything that's happened overnight. It gives you a weather report. It's going to kill stale Claude processes. That's just something in my own workflow. It checks it has its own email account. It doesn't check my email. I give its own email account. It checks its email. Like, why does it check its email? It's not getting an email. It gets email like spam email probably. It checks its own email 3 times a day. It checks its calendar. I mean, I'm not setting any appointments on there.
Is all of this from the current bot that you just installed?
No. This is one I set up before. This is what I call my ClawdBot. It's an example of setting up cron jobs, right? 3 times a day, it has a cron job to check its email, its calendar. It gives a daily summary of any emails. It does a nightly server security check. I have it check the server for any security issues every night. It checks its memory for issues, because one of the potential weaknesses in a system like this is if somehow some sort of bad instruction got put into memory, like something malicious, then it would be there present in the memory. So it audits its own memory, and it's a separate job that audits it, so it's like an objective third-party audit. It checks its memory for any issues. It manages its own. There's a copy of the repo that has access to. It checks it for issues and then saves any status of that. Also, any repairs it needs to do, it will do that. So yeah, that's one example of cron jobs that make it like kind of a living, breathing thing that's always doing stuff on its own. Now you can add to the cron job to do stuff like do reach outs, create social media, whatever you want it to manage. And it's constantly improving, right? Because I even have it.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Those markdown files are the one you have built for the task you want him to do. You have give those instructions yourself.
The cron job has instructions, but it handles it its own way in the workspace.
No, I'm looking for example, let's say the NIT server security check. You have a markdown file there. So those is what he have to put out for you as output, or is this some guidance on how he have to do the security check?
This is what he produces.
Okay.
Or she,
so
or it.
You didn't make the markdown file that he has to follow, right? He made.
No, I set up the cron job. And like do a security check, right? That's the cron instruction, something like that. And it has basic instructions. Please check this and that, and then the report it does for itself.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So that's example of cron jobs.
And one question before you show the cron job, the gateway token you was showing before, those we get it from ClawdBot itself? It generate one for us, or?
No, you would do it through, depending how you're doing it. If you're doing it through a command line, then there's a command for it. I forget what it is though. Here, let me see. So there's also the GUI, the GUI, the interface, and then there's also the gateway, right? So if I'm in projects, change to OpenClaw, I type, I think it's OpenClaw/H. See, this is your bot, right? And these are all the different commands it could do.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
So you want to go into your what's it called? The GUI, where's it at? Memory logs. Dashboard. Yeah, see dashboard right there. So I would do OpenClaw dashboard, I think. Okay. And it automatically opened it for me over here, you see? It opened it.
Yes.
With the token, right?
Yeah.
That's how you do it that way.
Good.
Yeah. So it was just easy for me to just ask Claude to do it, like Anthropic, Okay, so we'll close this. Let me see real quick on over here. How's our time doing? Oh, we got 14 minutes. So I opened it here. Okay, OpenClaw. We're talking about cron jobs. Let's see what else. Oh, agents. If you want to set up special agent jobs, right? You obviously have your main agent. That's who you're talking to. You could set up customized sub agents if you wanted. Yeah, and you could give it like each agent can have its own model. like a different, like you can use OpenAI for one and whatever other. You can access your skills from here and configure them from here, right? Here's all the built-in skills, right? And you can configure them from here if you want, right? And then the nodes is connecting it to other devices, right? And that's where you also have, a potential for security issues. You want to use something called, what's it called? TailClaw, I think it's called. There's something you can use you want to make sure you have a secure connection to your devices. Like if you want it to control your iPhone or whatever, just make sure you configure it correctly. And this is how you do it. You do it through nodes. The logs and debug and configure over here and all the documents. That's basically the surface level of how to set it up and how it works, by the way.
Question on the agent part. Do you chat with OpenClaw to make some agents, or we go outside and Claude and build them? I mean, we can chat with him to tell him, hey, I would like to do this, and he will come up with the instructions for his agent and show you all the agents.
I'm pretty sure he can do it himself without going here. You could just ask him to do it. Let's see here. Let's test it. Where is our new
interface?
Where's our connection? Here's our bot, Claw the bot. And we're going to X.Computer Telegram user ID is this. Pairing code. Okay, so I have to tell it to pair. Probably easier way to do it. Go over here to the overview, and we're going to go to now we're going to go to the chat and say, okay, connect me. I want to connect to Telegram, please. My pairing code is, and then we'll go ahead and prove that. We got that from over there, from Telegram. Paste that there, click send. Let it think. Clawy. I just need to approve. Great. Your Telegram is now paired. Send me a message. You see? So now and you have a whole menu here when you connect to Telegram. See all these things you could do from here, right? Sub-agents, right? Do you see this?
Yes.
So it's a whole thing here, right?
Oh.
It's a whole set of things. But yeah, can you make me a sub-agent for creating poems? I don't know. I don't know what kind of sub-agent you want, but let me check what's available for setting up agents. That's pretty cool. It's streaming too. I just noticed that it's streaming the chat.
In fact, what I heard from someone looking to some YouTube channels is and this was my question. You can ask him, for example, as you have done here, and he will go and build whatever sub-agent even he need. But some people say that you don't know what he's building. But I think here he will be pushing in the agent part what he have built, the instruction he have. So maybe we can adjust it if you want. No.
What do you mean? I don't like.
I mean, for example, here you have asked him to make a sub-agent for creating poems.
Yeah.
But maybe this sub-agent we need another sub-agent. Let's say. Does we see this structure in the agent in the GUI part of OpenClaw you was showing us before?
Yeah, it should. If you make a dedicated agent, it should show up there.
Yeah.
Theoretically, right?
I don't know why. I don't understand why people was saying we don't see what the agent he's building. He's making their own, but we can't see the content of the instruction he have for each agent.
Maybe because you have to instruct it to do that, to always do that, or maybe they don't instruct it, or I don't know.
There's different things to consider, right? So as an agent itself, Claude Code, for example, can create sub-agents, right?
Yeah.
Without like just instantiate one. It's like I'm going to create a subagent to do this job. That's a different thing than having a dedicated subagent, right? So look, it wants to create its own telegram for it. So it's asking, create a second telegram. If I want to have yet another like interaction with this agent, or keep on the same telegram, but I route it when you say something. So we're going to do that, right? And if you configure it, it'll handle voice and stuff like that. You can have conversations with it, talk to it, give it a voice. It can make phone calls and stuff for you. The poet agent is on the same telegram, but I route to when you say something like /poet for poems. See? Okay. So now let's check in the GUI, right? See if it worked. So we're going to refresh the page here on the GUI. And we go to our agents. And there it is. Poet. You get it? That's what you're asking about?
This part, yes, and I was also wondering if we see when we make agent in NA10, we have the system prompt, etc. I was thinking we can see the system, those kind of system prompt, etc. If you want any adjustment, no.
If you want to manually adjust it?
Yes, for example, or at least see the content.
Yeah,
yes, this agent
you would go like this.
MD.
Hello? What'd you say? Say it again.
Maybe this agents.md? No.
No,
yeah, you see it right here, right? Do you see here? We created it created the agent for you right here, and it creates a workspace right here. You see it?
Okay.
So if you want to edit it, you just go into that workspace. Like here. I'm gonna go into that workspace, OpenClaw.
OpenClaw /
All right.
workspace.
And then it made it where to make it change directory. So you see this workspace poet over here? It created its own.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to change directory workspace -poet. And you see here, it created its own subagent right here. So if I want to change its behavior, I would change whatever I want here.
Okay.
I'm going to use nano.
Yeah, but if I understood her correctly, she was asking about the system prompts and whatever, so you should put that in the Soul MD, because that's where agents are reading from.
Well, it depends how you define things, right? So here, this is a default agent in this system, right, with OpenClaw. It includes agents MD. That's kind of like your Claude.md.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So and then Bootstrap is, you don't have to worry about that. Heartbeat is how it behaves every hour, like any sort of checks it's going to do. Identity is it's like Soul. Identity and Soul are basically it's the same thing. It's describing how the agent behaves, right? And I guess you would put maybe there like you're this type of poet. I mean, so like
the entity is about you, Max, or us, right?
User is about.
It should know about us, and Soul is what the agent actually does and how it behaves, whatever.
So there's identity and soul, which actually refers to the agent, and then there's user. That's you. Right? So user, I would put something like here, let's look at it, user.md.
Mm-hmm.
And it says here about your human, learn about the person you're helping, update this as you go. It's supposed to do this for you as you have conversations, right? But you could add your own context, right? Like you put here,
okay.
Right here I'd put Max loves, I don't know, romantic poetry, right? And but then in identity.md, see, this is who I am, who I as the agent am, right? So, it'd give it its own name. The Claw is the mate agent. This is the poet agent, right? It's vibe, and that's going to be a poet. So you'd have to fill this all out as a poet, right? And then the soul is like, I don't know, it's kind of, if you ask me, I guess maybe I'm not, so it's more like, it depends how you approach life, right? I think most people believe there's more than the layer of like your brain and there's your body, and then most people in the universe believe there's another dimension, right? A third dimension, the soul. So that's what we're doing for an agent, which is a whole, I don't know. To me, it's like a waste of context if you ask me. But that's where you'd put this type of thing, right? And it did, look, you see, it filled it out. You're a poet. That's it. That's what you do. You're a dedicated poetry agent. When someone talks to you, you're responding verse, right? So it gives it a soul right here. And then agents.md is basically its system prompt. This is like the ClawdMD file. You're a poetry agent, read SoulMD every session to remember who you are. Your job, write poems, help with poems, be poetic. That's the gig. All right?
Yeah. I see the structure. Good. Question here is that means that every time we ask him for, let's say, job or whatever we ask, he creates complete workspace. If you ask him for create a video, he will create workspace-video with all those files, because I thought initially that, for example, the soul, etc., was global files about ourselves and how every task we would like to make will be done. Like as you mentioned, you are romantic. You would like things to be listed correctly, whatever instructions. But what I see here is that every time we do something, he will create specific workspace for it.
No.
Am I wrong, or can we try something else?
I said make an agent, right? And then
yes.
And then it asked me, do you want me just to make it? I could just make an agent for you without anything fancy that does the job right now, or we can make you a dedicated agent.
Okay,
right?
It's because you asked him to dedicate.
Because I asked for a dedicated agent, it created a completely unique workspace for that agent to exist forever. Right?
Okay.
So that's what happened there. And they even gave me the option of giving its own channel, right?
Yeah.
It even gave me that option, which I didn't take. So if I want poetry now, so if I want a poem now, here, I'm just going to reset just in case.
Okay. Just ask it to write you a sonnet, because sonnet 4.6 just came out.
Yes.
Write me a sonnet, please.
Yeah.
Should I just say sonnet?
Yeah.
Write me a sonnet, please. Now, if it's paying attention, it should write something romantic. Because if it knows me from the identity thing, it should. Okay, that's a nice sonnet. Let me ask it though. Did you use the dedicated poet agent to do that, or did you just come up with that yourself? That was all me. See, it didn't even use the agent.
Because to use the agent, you have to write /poet, as he mentioned.
Yeah. That's not how I'd want it to be, though. I guess you could make it a skill if you wanted to pick it up.
Yeah.
What?
Okay, got you.
Huh, it's not even picking up the agent. Oh, maybe I need to restart the gateway. Reset, maybe? Is it reset or restart? Restart, maybe it's restart. Maybe it needs a restart. Oh. Gosh. Can you please restart the OpenClaw Maybe it needs a restart to pick up the fact that the agent's there. I don't know, but it doesn't even recognize the agent's there right now. It's OpenClaw, what, restart, or what's the command? OpenClaw gateway restart, is it? Gateway reset. That's it. Or restart. So it's OpenClaw gateway restart to restart it. Okay, so let's go back to over here. Hi, you back online? Can you use your poet agent to write me a sonnet? See if it works. No. No pod agent exists. So I don't know, there's some sort of issue.
No, try to make the /poet in the Telegram.
Okay, 1 sec.
Because he was mentioning this. No, if I don't find it.
Well, there's sub-agents. Let's see here. So I'm going to list sub-agents. Huh, it's not recognizing it. It's interesting. It could see it on the, here,
On the query, yeah.
but it's not recognizing it. It's very interesting.
Screenshot it and give it to and not Claude, but the OpenClaw.
Oh, the bot?
Screenshot it and give it to OpenBot or whatever its name is, and
Claude?
see if it Yeah, Claude. Give it to Claude and see if Claude can understand how to fix it.
Okay, that's right. Okay, save this as.
He should be able because he has.
It should, right? You can see it. The GUI is recognizing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see in the GUI that the poet agent is there. See the screenshot attached. And they're going to upload the file. Screenshot. Then send. Okay. Claude is typing right now. I see. The agent exists in config, but it's not in my allow list. Go to the main agent setting and add poet to its allowed spawn targets. Want me to try patching config directly? Yeah, sure. Yeah, why not? You patch it directly.
That is so cool. I have an external, maybe, I think 5 terabyte cheap kind of external memory. Can I use something like that to put my OpenClaw, or does it have to be way more powerful for me to use it?
Is it like a computer, or is it just memory?
Just memory. Just
I mean,
I have my laptop.
Oh, you mean the files? Like put the files on that?
Yeah, like to put the files on it and then to use that to use OpenClaw. Is something like that possible? Or do I need something way more powerful for that?
I think, I mean...
Is that external memory?
I mean, you could save your workspace and your state space there. The bot itself needs to run... I think it needs like at least 4 gigabytes of memory to run. But could you run it off a drive? I guess you could. I don't see the advantage though.
No, I don't know why. It's just like I wanted to do it, but I didn't want to open a new VPS. And you mentioned that you have the cloud computer that you mentioned earlier, so I might want to try something like that. Or I was thinking about Oracle, which I heard about also.
Yeah, like Oracle is one way.
Yeah, to be able to host it from one of those free stuff. That I was thinking. Oracle is a good one, right?
I don't know about good. It's free. If you can get it out.
It is free. But also that one that you mentioned earlier is free, right? The one that you said from the window.
Well, what I mentioned earlier is just your computer.
It's just in your computer. But do you have to use it through Linux to make it work?
Well, I mean, I prefer Linux. It's ideal.
You prefer it, but you don't have to. You can use it just from the regular Windows program?
You can run this from Windows, PowerShell even.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but you need the WSL. You cannot run it from Windows directly, right?
Yeah, I think you can actually. They set up so you can.
Okay.
You could run this on Windows.
Reynoso, if you want the free stuff, you can set up the VPS on AWS, the Amazon stuff. You have it free for 6 months. So you can install it, test it there, and then see if it's for you or not.
That was great because I thought I only saw that for a couple of weeks for the AWS. I didn't know for 6 months.
They say 6 months. I installed it there first, but I mean, Amazon, I don't know. I don't think even their engineers can find their way around the AWS.
Yeah, man, it's weird.
It's like super complex stuff, super simple things. I mean, so I just nuked it, but I do believe that it's for 6 months.
Okay, that's great to know. I'll try that out because I was thinking about AWS. Everywhere sounded like it was free, and then when I went on it, it was like it wasn't free, or it only had a period of a free period, and I was like, I wanted something more longer, or you know.
Yeah.
But I heard that Oracle is also pretty good and it's forever free. If you ever check it out, and they're supposedly powerful compared to for a free platform.
Yeah, no. So native Windows, I don't think is
too
supported yet.
much of a hassle to set up the VPS. I mean, you can get it up and running, right? But then you have to secure it. So I ended up with my old computers. I have them like, few around the house, right? So we just use those, and that's way better because, again, those VPSs are, once you go below the surface, unless you want to pay them to, secure it for you. And in that case, it's not $5.99 a month, right?
No,
it will be like $15-25 a month. So
yeah, I understand.
And I have those laptops sitting around anyhow, so I'm just playing with it. So
that's cool. That's actually cool that you can do that.
So you're right, Michelle. You have to run this through WSL. You have to do this through. You can't. It doesn't. They don't support Windows yet.
They are planned, but not yet.
Yeah, so you have to do a virtual machine on Windows. I thought someone said they did support Windows. It says here, native Windows might be trickier, so you maybe could set it up on Windows, but it seems to be like, don't even bother.
Okay.
Okay, so any other questions? Any other?
I have a question based on your experience because you have also built your Croc one. I don't know if it's the same architecture, but usually when you make an agent, you prefer to make it as we see here, fully dedicated one, or not necessary. When you use dedicated one, and the opposite one.
When to make a dedicated sub-agent.
Yeah.
If it's a task you're going to repeat that requires its own resources, like you could use a cheaper model, for example, to do tasks, right? Right now, I'm using Opus 4.6 as my main agent on this configuration, right? That's the most expensive model in the universe. So I could make a sub-agent. I could, let's set up I didn't configure it, but I can add Haiku through Anthropic, or I could add, Gemini Flash 3, or OpenAI, I don't know, Codex Mini or whatever.
There is a lot of things I still have to do to the... Oh. Sorry,
yeah,
guys.
so... no worries. So that's one reason to do it, to do cheaper operations and cheaper job. Also, to just have a dedicated agent that, has a specialty. So it's focused on that specialty, doesn't have all the extra context and background noise to deal with. That would be reasons to have dedicated sub-agents.
Okay, good. And the last question about the cron jobs. I don't understand how it's new for me, how we do that.
Oh, you could just tell it to set it up for you. Right? You could just say...
basically what, in fact? It's just instructions to call some agent in specific time to do repetitive task?
Yeah.
Or
so there's two things. What's that?
Or planned tasks when you have something to do daily at 6 a.m. This is a cron job?
Yeah. So cron job would be scheduled things.
Okay.
That's cron job. And then there's heartbeat that picks up basically things that are not like, one time thing. Yeah, like if I said something like, in 5 minutes, send me a message. That's like specific time, so that'd be a cron job. Heartbeat would probably pick up things that just don't have a special schedule and stuff like that. It's basically the difference. It even says in the file, if you go into, let me see here. If you go into the Heartbeat file, I think, heartbeat.md.
Yeah, and guys, if you set up the Heartbeat for half an hour, whatever, just make sure that you use the cheapest model possible, because if it uses Opus to run, because it runs through everything that you have, right? And I mean, that's not a problem when you set up the agent, but after like 2 weeks or a month, when it has like all the memory and whatever, it has to go through everything, right?
Yes.
And then it'll be like super costly. So for Heartbeat, there is no need, right? It's just check if there are some, cute jobs. So you can use Haiku or Kini or whatever, Flash, Gemini Flash 3 or 3 Flash, whatever. I can't keep up with names anymore.
Yeah, so it says here the Heartbeat runs in the main session. So I think with Heartbeat, you're stuck with your main agent's engine.
No, you have to. You can. I set it up. It's using, Kiwi through Open Router, right? So for the Heartbeat, whenever, like, I put it like 1 hour, right? Because I don't have many data in there.
Are you sure it's Heartbeat or cron?
No, Heartbeat, not cron.
Did you modify it? Did you modify your code?
Yeah, I just asked the bot in the Telegram, right? Set the model for the Heartbeat to Haiku, and it did it.
Oh, great. So out of the gate, apparently, according to the documentation, it says here that if you want something that includes the context, it could be like, let's say you're checking your inbox every 30 minutes, it says to use Heartbeat. Why? Because it'll batch it with a bunch of other checks, like every 30 minutes, and then it retained the awareness of context. So it makes more sense, like if you're getting an email, in 30 minutes, that's talking, and we're just having a conversation about a meeting related to that email, then it'll understand the context of the email and give you much more, relevant details.
No, but Heartbeat, at least that's my understanding, Heartbeat is just checking if there is anything new, right? Queued, it doesn't do anything other than that. And if there is something, then it can reroute to whichever agent is going to take action on that. So that's that's my understanding. That's what Heartbeat is, right? Nothing more than just like the simple tracker and dispatch to whichever agent.
Well, so I'll share it here. Let me share. This is actually the documentation from...
I don't read documentation, so that's why. See, I'm blissfully unaware. I just asked AI, help me with this, and he set it up for me. So
in the project document,
I'm too old. I read too many documents in my life, so I don't do it anymore.
Yeah, so listen, it can modify itself, so maybe, it may have modified to fit how you set it up more. But out of the gate, the way they kind of set it up is that if you want something that's going to be, context aware, like, with your main conversation, then you want it in Heartbeat, right? So email would be example, because then it would understand, like, you just get an email from one of the people canceling a meeting, and you were just talking to your agent about a meeting, then it would understand the situation. Say, hey, listen, he canceled on you. Your schedule freed up. Maybe we could fit in that guy that was trying to talk to you earlier. You know what I'm saying? They'd have the context. So that's what it's saying here. It's also saying that the Heartbeat, it is the main session, which means it would use, at least according to the documentation, I don't want to say, but it's going to use your main agent. It's going to use, in my case, Claude 4.6. If I wanted it to use, now where it comes to the cron job, right? We go down here to cron. Cron gives you a different, like it's like it runs a separate agent, sub-agent to do the job. The cron, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah, so then you could set a specific agent for that, right? And even it shows you right here. Here's a cron, like setting up a cron. it's going to happen every morning, and I'm going to use the Opus model. You could set the model there. Whereas the heartbeat, you don't get to set the model. The heartbeat's in that. Here, let me show you real quick. In the
main session.
Let me exit real quick and go to the terminal. All right, so I'm going to go here. I'm going to go into OpenClaw. You see right here, and we would go to the workspace. This is my main agent right here. So here's heartbeat right there. Right, and so you'd add your heartbeat jobs in here, like check email every half an hour, and it's going to be using the main session to do this, right? As opposed to cron jobs, which are set in. I'm not going to.
Yes, that's it's in the main session, but you still can change the model. That's my point.
Well, there's no explicit place to do it, but there might be a way to do it. You see what I'm saying? There's no clear place to do that.
Just a sec, sorry. What does it say? Yes, you can replace the main model for the heartbeat in OpenClaw. In fact, doing so is highly recommended to reduce cost as the heartbeat process runs frequently in the background. Blah, blah, blah. I just did configure via OpenClaw.json. You can specify a different, cheaper LLM specifically for the heartbeat by updating the OpenClaw.json configuration file.
So it could be that's something they added, and this documentation I'm looking at might be dated.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that.
That's why you don't read documentation, my friend. Never.
So in that case, you could save memory that would save cost that way. Oops, what did I do? Okay. That's a general idea though, between heartbeat and cron. They have a little diagram at the top of the documentation. Background project health check. Yeah, so default 30 minutes, designed for the agent to check on things that surface anything important. Like you were saying, right? So any other questions?
Another question, have any one of you tried to or have local LLMs in his computer and tried to use it with OpenClaw?
No. I haven't because
I did, but it's painfully slow. And again, I have the Mac Mini. I'm not elitist, Mac. I just got
elitist.
It's the unwanted gift. Anyway, no, and it's not that powerful at all, right? So I just set it up because I was building a private dashboard for a client. I mean private, like with the private model. So I just set it up to test it, and it's just not good. I mean, if you have money to buy Mac Studios or some other beast of a computer, then you can run it, but on less powerful machines, don't even try.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like 10 tokens a second or whatever, and those models are not very good anyway. So it depends what you're doing, right? If it's like that heartbeat or cron jobs, when it's it has like a structure, the process that it follows, then yes, it's okay. But, if you need some thinking or doing something, more than just the regular stuff, then I wouldn't be using them. Again, I was using that 8 billion parameter model. If I had power plant beside my house, I would run 300 billion parameter model, then those are good. But then again, it all depends on your hardware, I would say.
Yeah, sure. And final question, KiloCode, you was speaking about this one, Max?
Yes. What about it?
Yes. KiloCode. Kilo. How do you call it?
Yeah.
It gives you other models. Let me check.
What, connected to OpenClaw?
Yeah.
I don't think you could connect KiloCode OpenClaw. No. I mean, you might be able to set up a custom way of doing that, but I don't think KiloCode has a direct connection to KiloClaw, to OpenClaw. They have Open Router you can connect.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah,
So
these things are token monsters, though. They eat up tokens really fast. Excuse me. So you either have to have a high budget or get a subscription.
Yeah. Does OpenClaw allow you to track this token usage? Because as I told you by messaging, is that I had at this meantime a week ago just installed the Daniel Messler one, and he had at least planned this usage token tracking, and it's good because if you are using Opus, it will be just.
Yeah, you can see it does track. You see, okay. I type /status.
Status.
So far, I've already used 120,000 tokens for basically doing nothing.
Yeah. Okay. You should also see that in TUI maps. If you open the terminal user interface, you can see the usage in there as well. If you want to check it from the web, right, and not through Telegram. I do believe there is a section there.
Over here. Oh wait, where did I close it? I may have closed the window already.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Ooh. My son is attacking me. Okay, change projects. Let's see here, find it. Change directory, OpenClaw. And then it was OpenClaw. It was a gateway browser, do you remember? Gateway GUI?
It was TUI, terminal user interface. But I don't know how you open it.
Terminal or not the visual? The TUI, yeah. We could do TUI.
I'm not sure that it will open it that way. I'm not sure how, because I just have it like in my bookmarks. So I open it from there because it does the gateway loop through 127.0.0.9 and then that port, right?
Yeah, so
I don't know. Ask the Chloe how to open the web interface. She should be able to tell you.
Oh, it's just a GUI, I think. Let me see real quick. That's all you have to do.
Okay.
I think it's just GUI. Or is that right? No. OpenClaw. No, we did it earlier. Dashboard, that's it. Dashboard. That's how you open from here. OpenClaw dashboard, and you just click right here. Or it'll open automatically if you have Chromium. There you go.
Yeah, and if you go to overview, it should tell you somewhere. Where did I see that the other day?
I think you see it even from the chat.
Oh, no, usage. There is the usage. Go down.
Usage, there you
go. Okay.
Yeah. And it should say, but yeah, it says 0 tokens, so I don't know how. Oh, maybe 0 because you are on your...
I'd refresh.
There you go.
There it is.
Yep. 20.3, yeah. The cost, yeah. So there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a
but then again, that beats the purpose of called OpenClaw stuff, right? You should be able to just speak to it from Telegram and then just occasionally if something crashes, you open the TUI.
Yeah.
But it's a good resource anyway.
Yeah. They have this, they have what you said, the TUI, which is like their... You saw that earlier?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's what you were looking at. That's the terminal user interface. I mean, its command is the dashboard, but TUI is terminal user interface. Like GUI is graphical user interface, right? So it's just how they name it.
Yeah, and you have the / commands here, like, right? All 49 different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all the same thing. Like the gateway too, you can do everything through the gateway too. Just by taking OpenClaw, and then you have OpenClaw and then OpenClaw gateway. So there's OpenClaw and then OpenClaw gateway. So you see all those commands?
Yes.
You could do everything from here too. OpenClaw gateway. Oh, butter your workflow like a lobster roll.
Messy, delicious, and effective.
It's funny. Yeah, so that's how you do it.
Okay.
There's 3 ways. But yeah, any other questions before we go? 30:10. Wow.
Go play with your son and other kids.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining. If you have any other questions, just make a post in the community and tag me.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Max.
Thanks very much.
My pleasure. Take care, guys. Thanks for joining me.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.